What's up guys, Luke here for the part 2 of our question and answer video for May 2023. And I still haven't been able to fit all the questions in 2 different videos, so I will try to figure something out. If you are new here, once a month I create a post on the community page for questions and I do my best to answer all of them. It is an Ask Me Anything format and it's generally a good time, and sometimes folks even learn something. So if you missed the post this time, look for another one around mid-month. This channel is about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, and travel. If you want to stay up to date on those things, I suggest you subscribe. And if you get any value out of this video, or you just want to support the channel for free, slap that like button. With all that out of the way, I have over 20 questions to answer, so let's get started. Duncan Ward asks if it's worth having both the Hilton Aspire card and the Hilton Surpass card. Well, Duncan, I actually have both of these cards, and I think it's a great way to earn Hilton Honors points via the larger bonus offers, like right now. I think the Aspire is 100% a keeper card if you stay at Hilton hotels, and I think there are options for the Surpass after a year. First off, in my opinion, it is worth putting the $15,000 of spend on the Surpass for the free night certificate, and because the earnings are competitive. 6 times on dining, gas, and groceries will keep your Hilton Honors stash plussed up. Another option is, after getting the bonus and having the Surpass for 1 year, is to upgrade it to a second Aspire card. If that's too rich for your blood, then you can always have the option of downgrading it to the no annual fee Hilton card to keep that line of credit aging. Now, this is because I believe Hilton has the best credit cards for hotels, and I think the diamond status is valuable. Nahid wants to know which websites I use for finding first and business class flights. Nahid, I really don't use any of them because I don't want to pay for the service. For points bookings, I like to just stay up to date in the game and pay attention to podcasts and blogs like The Frequent Miler for their information on when award space is opening. I still have 5 or 6 sweet spots I want to try out before I get too deep into any more obscure stuff. So maybe one day I will use something like Point.me, which from what I can tell right now is the most popular. NS asks, which no foreign transaction fee card will I be using overseas this year? NS brings up a great point. If you are in another country or overseas, make sure you aren't using a credit card that has a fee. It's typically 3%, so that could actually add up. NS, I have a few choices, so it will be depending on what I'm trying to earn at the time, but for the most part, I won't use American Express overseas. My next out-of-country trip will be Germany, and I think I will be using either the Navy Federal Flagship Visa, which will get me 2% cash back on the other category, and 3% cash back on travel-related expenses. Second option will likely be the Capital One Venture X because of the ×2 miles on everything. And I don't get to put too much spend on that card, so in July I will choose between miles or cash, and I will likely just run that one card for the entire trip. Thanks for the question. D wants some tips on New York City luxury hotels, and he carries the American Express Platinum. So D, use that Platinum card program, find hotels and resorts. It's one of my favorite hotel programs, and I use it at least twice a year. I currently have an FHR booking in Prague this fall, and I think I can fit at least one more in there in 2023. Amex has tons of NYC hotels in the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. You'll get 5 times MR points, early check-in, late checkout, a property credit, and likely a room upgrade. Good luck. Let us know which property you choose. E-Dog has a decision to make. He wants a Platinum card, but he's unable to secure the 150,000 MR point offer. He's been told that he's not eligible, but he has an offer to upgrade his Amex Gold card and earn an upgrade bonus of 100,000 MR points. He's also gardening his 524 status. Well, E-Dog, my style is different from a lot of folks, and the first thing I'll say is I would take the upgrade as long as you have a plan to replace or you don't need the Gold card. Here's why. I'm not interested in waiting around for any type of offer. I would have earned the points, redeemed them, and taken my wife on a super nice trip before that other offer even came around. Life is short. I don't think credit card points deserve a huge amount of patience. Earn them and burn them. Upgrades will keep you in gardening status, and you'll get 100,000 MR points. I like that idea. Points Inbound tells me that when traveling to Prague, staying in the old town is the way to go. He also says to be careful with the money changers. Thanks for the tip, sir. I do know a guy who's had an incident with money changers before. I think he flipped some tables up in the air, created quite a ruckus. Wes McFall wants my thoughts on Wyndham and Vacasa. Wes, I don't pay attention to them for a couple different reasons. One, I don't want to stay at Wyndham properties, and two, the Vacasa program is just not my style. I don't want to rent a vacation condo, and I don't want to deal with the gamble if I'll get a nice one or not. I like the predictability of full-service hotels. Hilton is my primary and Hyatt is my backup for short stays. My other reason is I'd rather not ever deal with Barclays Bank for anything. And I do mean anything. Carla J wants to know if I think airline cards are worth it. Carla, I personally have given up on airline cards because I don't think they're worth it at all. If you check a bag though, it might make sense to keep an airline card that gives you a free check bag, but other than that, I can't realize the benefit. I'm an airline free agent, and I much prefer earning transferable currencies. Jason wants some advice on spending with business credit cards for sole proprietors. Jason, I know some folks say they get business credit cards so they can separate spend, and I think some of those people actually do that. If you are getting business credit cards because you want to earn rewards and your side hustle doesn't do a ton of spending, and you're wondering if you can just use that card for personal expenses as well as business, then I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. But I will tell you that I use whatever card I want when I want to use it. If I need to expense something, I make sure I keep up with the documentation for that. But at the end of the year, when I expense a camera purchase to make videos, no one is going to ask me which credit card I used for the purchase. You can write off business expenses that were purchased with personal credit cards or even cash. I don't worry about it, but if I ever grew a large business, I would likely keep all that spend separate. I will mention that some credit card issuers do have terms that state a business credit card should be used for business expenses. So I hope something here helps. Marcus Young wants to know, what new business or service could one start to really optimize the points and miles game? Well, that's a cool question. The first thing that came to mind is the obvious, and that's some type of creator, either a travel vlogger or someone that writes articles. If you are creating content as a business, you can expense a lot of your trips. And how cool is that? But when I really think about it, a business that uses high levels of spend to generate any kind of profit margins, or one that gets reimbursed for spending, would be great. Running an ad agency seems to be really popular. Social media marketing. Like if I'm being paid to run Facebook ads and I'm earning $12,000 a week to run $10,000 of ads, then I'm generating a lot of points and a lot of spend. Resellers that purchase a lot of inventory and even contractors that have to purchase supplies comes to mind as well. So there are two different ideas. Hope they get your creative business ideas flowing. William Pickett asked a very simple question. Is the city premier all that? William, I'll give you a simple answer. Yes. I think city cards are underrated because you can create a 3 or 4 card setup that earns tons of city thank you points, and city has some big league transfer partners. Now, there will always be a guy in the background that says, they don't have travel protections, and they're right. I'll say something somewhat controversial. I don't care about the card's travel protections. Points, miles, and cash are my protection. I'll figure out the rest once I get where I'm going. Also, you can always purchase travel insurance. Luis Maldonado asks, what cards do I consider the dark horses? Luis, that's a great question. The US Bank Cash Plus, most definitely a dark horse. 5% cash back on your utilities with a fairly high cap is really unmatched in this game as far as I know. Some cards I think fly under the radar for various reasons are the City Premier and also the Wells Fargo Autograph. But I also want to mention that your regional banks and local credit unions can be game changers for team cashback. Lots of 5 times categories and less restrictions and weird rules. JB asked if my Player 2 has any Amex MR earning cards. No. The path we've taken has been cashback with her first few cards, and now we're kind of getting into the Chase ecosystem. Chase is relatively easy to transfer points to my account, but I honestly don't know if there is a way with American Express MR points. If someone else knows, please chime in the comments. Joshua Irwin wants to know why he can't pay his credit card bill with a prepaid Visa. That's a great question, but I'm sure it has something to do with many lenders from across the board not liking to accept debt payments from what could be another debt vehicle. Most of us know that if we could pay our Chase Business Inc. card with a Visa debit card, we'd all have millions of points. Chase knows this as well, and if they know, then everyone knows. So many folks are leery of prepaid debit cards anyway because of the potential of misuse and even some more nefarious behaviors. I would not be surprised if more and more payment systems just stop taking them. ZoBro asks a great question. If I could have any hairstyle, what would I go with? Well, here's the deal, Zo. I'm at a weird time in my life where I'm not sure if my hair is even going to stick around. It's getting a little thin in places and it's starting to change color. But all things considered, I am a long-haired boy at heart. If I didn't have to get a haircut, I don't think I would. I would keep it just my natural color, but I would grow it out, and I've done that a couple times. It's just not an option for me to do right now. I don't even make my son keep his hair short. I let him wear it wild. But I'm also the type of guy that could have super long hair one day and then take a buzz to it the next, one extreme to another. DanForLogic asks if I was able to product change the Citi American Airlines MasterCard to a Citi Custom Cash. Yes, I was. Cool thing about Citi is that at least on the personal side, you can product change across families. He also asked if they would waive the annual fee. A little known fact is that with Citi, you can call them and ask for retention offers on all your cards. I recently did this and they told me they would give me a statement credit of $100 for spending $100 on my Citi Business American Airlines card. Now, I've used the card to get gas, but I haven't seen any type of credit so far, so maybe that's something I'll have to report on later. CesarJoelle asked if I'm canceling any credit cards this year. Cesar, you know I am. I just recently canceled the American Express Business Gold card and an American Express Blue Business Plus card. I have another Blue Business Plus, so I wanted to get under the American Express limit, and I'll be reporting sometime this year if I made it to Amex pop-up jail. There will be a decision made on the Hilton Surpass, I think in July as well. DrDarkPK asked if I think the American Express Business Platinum card is superior to the Personal Platinum. Doc, I went over this one really closely when I had both of them, and for a time I really thought the business card was superior because of the 35% airline bonus. The cards are similar, but what did it for me was the Dell credit. I don't really shop at Dell unless I have to. The credits on the Personal Platinum just make more sense for me. I ended up canceling the business version and keeping the personal. Will I have the business platinum again at some point? It's possible. EzraG wants to know how much my squat and leg press is. That's a tough question. I have not been squatting heavy lately. When I was closing in on 600 pounds in wraps, in knee wraps. I didn't get there. I think the most I have ever done was 585 pounds in competition, which isn't too bad in the drug-free division, at least in my opinion. Powerlifting takes a lot of dedication, and 45-year-old guys actually need to be able to walk up and down stairs and chase the boy. But now that I talk about it, I kind of want to start squatting again. Max leg press, I actually don't know any strong person that has a max leg press. I'll ask my wife if any of the ladies do that. Sometimes, not always, asked if I like jazz. Well, my musical tastes kind of run in cycles, but not really. When I go to New Orleans, it's oftentimes being played, and yeah, we love listening to the guys play. We love New Orleans, so I guess I have to change my answer. We like jazz just a little. All right, guys, that is all I can fit on this one. I want to remind everyone that in the description below, I do have a card link site with all my favorite cards. If you want more information on any of these cards we talked about today, or basically any card out there, check out my link. Using my link absolutely supports the channel, and you guys have been really great so far. And if you've stayed all the way to the end of the video, I appreciate you, and I want to take a moment to thank every single one of you.